Hey guys, Tealis here with another Overwatch hero overview. This time I'm looking at the defensive hero of Bastion. Now, Bastion's rather unique in that he's basically one of many. Uh, this is actually a Bastion unit. That is the name of the unit. And it was, Bastion units were owned by several nations before the breakout of the Omnic Crisis. Now, when the Omnic Crisis broke out, Bastion units were kind of the core of the Bastion army. That's what they were known for. And so this Bastion unit in particular was damaged severely during a battle. And instead of being discovered or eventually destroyed, this Bastion unit was forgotten. And like grass grew over him. He kind of was just forgotten to society, and he kind of laid there inert, kind of useless to society, until finally he was unexpectedly reactivated, and most of his combat programming was gone. So everything that made him into a ruthless killer for the Omnics was gone, completely removed from him. So in that time, he began to explore the world. Take a look at everything. Began to take interest in everything, as you can see from the bird right here that is constantly around Bastion. Now, Bastion may appear to be gentle, but he does at times can become harmful. He's gotten into fights with people in crowded areas. So Bastion generally stays, out of populated areas, and that's how he came into the Overwatch universe. So here is Bastion. He is the shapeshifter, so to say. He is the druid of Overwatch. Basically, he has 3 different configurations that he can use to actually go out and deal damage. So his first configuration is the one I'm in right now, which is called Recon, and it basically allows you to move, you're mobile, and you have a automatic weapon to use to deal damage. It is not as powerful as his other stances, but I mean that's why it's Recon, But Recon is never the most powerful unit. It's basically here to be able to move around and actually do something. Now his other stance is activated by using your first ability, which is just called Reconfigure. So you reconfigure into your other configuration, which is Sentry. So I'm gonna drop down, and I'm supposed to have a shield, but I haven't seen it in the game, so either the Overwatch team took it out in between this closed beta test and whenever they put the information up on the site, last time I saw Bastion announce, or it's just bugged right now. But he goes down into this turret form, and you can see how much more damage I'm going to deal with his minigun. It just shreds through people really quickly. And after that, you can quickly reconfigure back into your recon form and move about. So pretty easy. Do it again. Quickly kill people. Real quick. I know the other robot's about to come around the corner there. So, very useful Bastion. He is a defense hero. So this configuration Sentry really plays into his role of being that defense-minded tank. So, or not a tank, but that defense-minded hero. So, if you're finding yourself on a last stand point that you need to save before you die, Bastion may be a good option to have. I may have mentioned in an earlier video about having to deal with 3 Winstons. We actually countered that with 3 Bastions, and it actually did really well. It shredded the Winstons really quickly, and we almost won that one until some of our Bastions did something very silly, which I'll bring up in a later video. But it's very useful to have something like this, this ability to sit there and just deal massive damage from sitting down. Most people that I've seen play Bastion effectively end up having some of the top damage in the game, and that's because this cannon right here does so much damage, this minigun. and that's just how Bastion operates. Now, his second ability is a self-repair. It's called self-repair. Very unimaginative name, but it is called self-repair, and basically you just sit there and you heal yourself up by yourself. You just hold it down. There's no cooldown on it either, because it's difficult to continue to heal yourself at the same time. I mean, when you take damage, you're knocked out of your healing. So if you find yourself in a situation in which you're being chased down by a really quick assassin, maybe like Tracer, you're not going to be able to try and just heal yourself out of everything. No, because you have to be not out of combat, but you have to not be taking damage, or else it's just kind of useless. So it's just one thing that you should know about that self-repair ability. Now, his ultimate is the last one. It is called Configuration Tank. So I'm going to go ahead and use this here. And as you can see this here, it basically just gives me this massive cannon, allows me to be mobile. This cannon does knock back a little bit, and it does a lot of damage. Now, I wouldn't say it does more damage than being on the sentry, but being able to move and deal damage at the same time is pretty useful. However, in what Bastion is supposed to be used for, which is defense capabilities, I'm not a big fan of it, because if you're trying to be using it for defense, it's almost better to be in this sentry form with the shields that may or may not be there, depending on what Overwatch has done with the character since they revealed him. But whether or not that's a bug or not, his shield's missing, I'm not sure. But it just makes more sense. You're a defense hero, you want to be playing defense. To be in a mobile tank doesn't make much sense to me. So it is very powerful. So if for some reason you're still playing Bastion and you're on offense or something, that can be a very useful tool to actually invade and deal damage. Or you can, knock people around who are on the point. If you want to do that, because it does have some splash damage and deal some AoE. Now that's something you can think about. But otherwise, I think the sentry mode is much more useful. And you can swivel around anywhere. It's not like you can only go one direction. I can shoot up at this training bot up here and get the last few hits on it. So, as you can see, I'm going to go back into the tank mode, and you'll see right here, like, yeah, I can move around. And it does a lot of damage. I mean, it's pretty much one-hit kill. But, I'm not sure. It depends on your playstyle. If you feel that the mobility is going to be more important, then the situation may use it. But otherwise, I think the sentry mode is going to be more useful in defending a point as a defender than the actual tank mode. So, not exactly excited about the cannon, the tank, ultimate ability, but otherwise he provides a lot of damage in defense. A lot of damage in defense, which is what he's supposed to do. He's supposed to be able to sit there, defend, he can heal himself up, so he has that sustainability to stay in the fight as long as possible and hold people off the point, or the payload, or whatever you need to for the character. So, I have enjoyed Bastion, only played him a little bit, but everyone I've seen playing him just does so much damage on this guy, and that's because of his configuration sentry. So, that's everything with Bastion. I hope you enjoyed this, and I hope to see you guys out there in Overwatch. Tearless out.